Boulder, Mr. Brockett. Thank you so much for making it and gracing us with your um, presence. Um, so this is our association and this is our students. Mayor Aaron Brockett we have been in touch with Mayor Brockett. He's been a supporter of our association for a few years now, and as of recently, our connection has strengthened. A little bit about the association. We have been the part of Boulder and the larger Boulder County for about 2 decades now. Started off with a few families, and now we have almost 100 students. And Boulder has been a welcoming home for our community. All thanks to His Holiness Dalai Lama's 1991, which enacted the Immigration Act for our we call it Jikdo 1000. So I won't take too much time here. Basically wanted to welcome Boulder Mayor. Thank you so much for gracing us here. As for the school, I think our principal may have a few things to say about the school itself. I think that's all. Thank you so much, and I hope that this kind of strengthens our bond with the mayor and the city, and hopefully this will make our community a bit more visible, have us, which is a way that we can benefit each other. Well, I know that the city and state and county at large can definitely benefit from a little bit learning about the Tibetan plight, the Tibetan culture, what do we have to offer. At the same time, we can benefit from having a better connection and our visibility in the state, in the city. That's all for today. Thank you so much again.
Thank you for coming to our community center. And my name is Kusang. I'm the principal of our Tibetan Culture School. We have about 90 students everywhere. Every year it's growing, 10 plus 10 to 20. And we have about 30 volunteers, teacher, and school runs every Sunday from 11 a.m. to 5 p.m. Beside that, our schools faces a lot of challenges. As you can see, the space here is very limited. And later, I would like to, we're not working. Later, I would like to tour you our classrooms when it's in session. And we have a funding committee within our Tibetan Association, which works directly to find funding from either federal or local government. But as far as if I want to give you updates, it was unsuccessful to gain any funding for our community. So as you know, it takes a lot of support from local and federal governments and NGOs to support a community like this. For that, I would like to request Mr. Tenzin Namdullah, who is our funding committee in charge, would like to share a few words on how our funding process is going. Tenzin Namdullah, thank you.
So first of all, Mayor Brockett, I want to thank you very much for joining us here today. I think it means a lot to our community to get engagement from someone like yourself, and I think it means a lot for us, right? I think it just improves our ability and motivates us to keep going and continue to work to preserve our culture and heritage. Just to kind of build off of the principle here, in terms of, and kind of just speak to the background, there's close to 100 students at this point now. We range from Boulder County, Denver County, Lafayette, Louisville, etc. And then we even have some kids coming all the way from Vail. So it's a very small group, but it's a hearty group, and we're dedicated to preserving our culture and heritage, right? And we also understand sort of the broader implications of having a rich, diverse culture within the Colorado community itself, right? And I think that helps to bolster the diversity and the richness of Colorado itself. So that's a little bit of the background. What we focus on here at the Tibetan School is, making sure that our children learn the Tibetan language, maintain that aspect, um, you know, focus on Tibetan traditions, songs, culture, and dance, in addition to learning about Buddhist values, and kind of maintaining that aspect. So those are the cultural and heritage and traditions that we're striving to preserve here. Like I said, it's a small community, but and it's a parents and volunteer based, you community, and so it takes a lot for us to sort of try to manage this as the children grow, the number of children grow. It really starts to strain our ability to sustain this long term in the future. And so as we grow, what are our needs, right? So um, a dedicated facility that's able to sustain all of these children, right? As as we require classrooms for these kids, supplies, so there's a lot of funding mechanisms that are necessary. Also, just want to highlight all of the volunteers that are the teachers here, our parents or community members that are volunteering their time, volunteering their the money, and trying their best to support this endeavor of ours. Um, what our overall objective and our goals are, and hoping someone like yourself can help support, is one, we're trying to secure adequate space, right? As we grow, try to see how we can manage that space constraint, and look for opportunities to where we can have larger potential spaces, so that our children can learn in a much more sustainable manner. Also, just day-to-day things like purchase of educational materials, books, art supplies, whiteboards, instruments, traditional costumes for our dance presentations. Those are also a strain on our community. And then, as I was speaking about, just how we feel that as we kind of work to maintain and preserve our own culture and heritage, I feel like from a broader perspective in the community that we live in, right? These children are growing up here in Colorado. They're growing up in Boulder. They're growing up in Denver, etc. I think it sort of helps to preserve the cultural diversity of Boulder County, Broomfield County, etc. Right? It also helps to provide a positive and educational space for these children as they grow in a multicultural environment. And so, fostering that diversity of culture is one of our key objectives here. So, like the principal mentioned, as our group or community grew, we realized the need, to try to source outside funding mechanisms outside of just trying to rely on our community. And, once that became a true realization, we had to kind of put together an initiative, and that's what we started last fall. I and a few volunteers in the community started doing some research, trying to see what was available to us, and so we've initiated and actually submitted some applications. I, worked with the Colorado Community Revitalization Program through the Office of Economic Development and International Trade. So we, submitted an application for the grant associated with that. We've also worked with Think Arts 360 grants, from a cultural arts perspective, and we've also worked with Louisville Arts grants, and I've also been researching the Boulder Grants program. And so the applications for the grants funding have been ranging from between $25,000 to $2,000. As the principal mentioned, we were unsuccessful. It's there are a lot of great causes for all of these grants, right? And so I think it's difficult to navigate that system. And as we're just kind of getting into this and kind of working through the initial stages, it's it's difficult. You're trying to navigate a very complex system, and I think someone like yourself who can kind of support that effort would be really beneficial for our community. So that's kind of where we're at right now. We submitted four grants starting in the fall of last year. Unfortunately, we were not able to access any of those grants to date. We have not lost hope. If anything, we've been more resolved to understand the network process, understand the people, try to refigure how we're going to apply for these grants, right, and kind of get a better understanding of how we can actually actualize these applications moving forward. So once again, and just in closing, I want to really thank you very much for your time. I mean, like I said, I think it motivates us and knows that there's eyes outside of our community looking to support, right? And so thank you very much for that. What I'd like to ask is, I'd like to seek further guidance and opportunities with yourself and your team, in order to try and access additional funding pathways. Like I said, whether that's through the Boulder Cultural Boulder Cultural Grants Program, or any other additional resources that are available. I would love to have the opportunity to network with your team, yourself, and see, how we can kind of collaborate together to sort of meet our objectives. And so, thank you very much for the time, and once again, thank you for coming. I truly appreciate it.
Can you hear the microphone? All right. Well, Tashidale, so good to be here with you all today. Really appreciate the invitation so much. It's an honor to join you and be here with you today. I'm a great admirer of the Tibetan community in Boulder, in Broomfield, and in our entire area. And I've so much appreciated the invitation that you all have given me in the last few years to attend events. Like, we've had a really fantastic time at the Elks Club in North Boulder with your organization, and just phenomenal food and culture and dance, and have enjoyed that very, very much. And I don't know if everyone knows, but Boulder actually has a sister city with Lhasa in Tibet. And while I have not yet been able to visit, I have a great desire to do so. And we're trying to find a way to make a delegation visit happen so that we can go to Tibet and actually visit with our counterparts there. The closest that I've gotten is we also have a sister city in Kathmandu in Nepal, which I was able to go on a visit to last year. And I know there's a large Tibetan community there in Kathmandu as well, with a number of schools and shrines and such like that. So good to be here with you today, and I am very happy to help work on those grant opportunities. There are a couple of different kinds of grants. I won't get into those details right here, but we will definitely talk about what those options might be. I did also have the great honor of being able to see the Dalai Lama speak a few years ago. Were any of you able, when he was in Boulder about 8 years ago, were any of you able to attend? Maybe raise a hand. That's fantastic. It was such a very powerful experience for me to hear the wisdom from such a great man, and also his humbleness, which I was really very much admired. I was on the city council at the time, but not the mayor. And it was wonderful to see our mayor at the time, Suzanne Jones, welcome him and talk to him up on the stage. I don't know if you remember, but she gave him a bicycle helmet. Does anybody remember that moment? It was such a beautiful, touching moment, and he was honored and immediately put it on. It was a beautiful day and a beautiful moment. So again, thank you so much for having me here today. It's wonderful to see all the children gathered here today, all the teachers. This is such a beautiful space. I know you talked about being limited in space here, and I see that, but what you have done with the space that you have is really remarkable. This is a beautiful room. I love the books. The shrine is so beautiful. and the honor given to His Holiness the Dalai Lama. So again, thank you. And if there's anything that you want to talk to me about how the Tibetan community and the city of Boulder can collaborate better, please let me know. I'll leave some cards here so that people can contact me. And if anyone ever has any questions, please just let me know. And if anyone, in fact, has questions today, I'm happy to take any questions if that would be appropriate. Do you have your hand up earlier? No? Okay. All right, well, thank you.
Request, Mayor.
Yes, please.
It's not a question, but come July, we're hosting a large event. It's called the West Coast Picnic.
Mm.
It'll be the 4th of July weekend, 4 through 6. And we would be honored if you could be our chief guest on one of those days on a cultural event night, possibly on the 6th. We can think about that.
Well, I would absolutely love to. Unfortunately, I have a conference in Europe that weekend, so I'm going to be out of the country. So I'm very sorry to miss it, but hopefully there'll be other opportunities. Yes.
Thank you so much, Mayor Brockett, for giving such a nice inspiration speech to our students, staff, and community member. Next, I would like to invite our teacher, Basala, and team to lead U.S. National Anthem and Tibetan National Anthem before we start our language class. And after that, the Mayor Brockett will have a visit tour to our classrooms with President of TTC. Basala and team, please.
Say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose bright stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave for the land of the free and the home of the brave.
Yes, I do. Thank you so much. Thank you.
so much. We do like all small gatherings. Can we come in? Please, Mayor, Mr. Mayor. So this is first grade. We have 8, 9, 8, 9, 8, 9, 9, yes.
My birthday's in 2 days.
2 days. Oh, happy birthday. So our teacher is volunteers our time for last how many years? 8 years. Yeah. Every Sunday she comes and she helps our student teach our.
Can you tell me what you're working on?
Yeah,
Can you show me?
Yeah.
Kumon.
Who can tell? That's 2 way back. You want to? Who can tell next? You? Okay, bring your book. Yeah, that one, the one that you like. Which one you want to share? Yeah.
So, this was his Brockett. So they're actually learning how to read in uppercase and
So next, from 11, 10, 11. How many 11s are here? 12, 13, 14? Yes, 11 to 14. So the teacher they're not loud. He just went to the restroom break. So he'll be back in a few minutes. So,
Reading the story.
can you share us what it is?
Yes, so like the whole story is basically a father and a son and a donkey, and the story of them like traveling through different places.
So it's just you after our speech. Knock knock. Hello. May we come in for a minute? Thank you. Please come in. So here our secondary teacher, Mr. Jamila.
Yes,
Yeah.
we begin.
So Mr. Jamila has been volunteering his time how many years? For the last 12 years. Yeah. Every Sunday he comes and teaches our students. And we have age ranging from how many years? How old are you guys? 8 through 11. 11, yeah. Nice. Where do you live? Which city do you live? Louisville, very close to Boulder, yeah? Yeah. So, yeah.
Very good.
And you guys all enjoy the class, right?
Yeah.
I'm the good teacher, right?
Good, he's a good teacher. Okay, that's good. Can you tell me a little bit about what you're working on here with the workshops?
Translating words, like the easy words like cold, hot, heavy. Now we're doing numbers.
You're learning Tibetan terminology, vocabulary,
Right now
right?
we're on this category.
Yeah,
And we're also
sentences and
talking
things like
about
that.
turtles flying in the sky.
Turtles flying in the sky.
The
Okay.
turtle has its mouth on a branch, and then some birds picked up the other ends of the branch, and then they took him to another.
That
I
is the
think
story.
the turtle still has a bucket.
We have an exam coming up on May 4th. So this is a preparation for the exam. So we have multiple choices here, and we'll give them a few, from it. And but these are great kids, They all do great job.
Excellent. May the fourth be with you.
May the fourth be with you.
Yeah. Thank you so much. Say thank you to Mr. Mayor for coming here. Thank you so much. Thank you, Mr. Jimena. May we come in for a minute?
Oh, yes, yes.
Mr. Mayor wants to visit with you. The seniors students here.
Hello, everybody.
The teacher is Mr. Ye Yandenla. Has been teaching fifth grade for how many years, Gila?
Over 2 years, I think.
2 years? Yeah, over 2 years. Yeah.
So can you all tell me what you're working on?
So right now we're just learning about the Tibetan New Year and the customs in Tibetan New Year.
Okay. Can you give me an example of a custom?
So the first day it's called Boulder, where everybody our family gathers around and we all do this thing where we get a pupa, which is noodles, and then we put little papers inside of them with writing cotton or wool, and that's symbolizes what's gonna happen next year, what's your fate
It's kind of like fortune telling soup.
Yeah.
Fortune telling.
Yeah.
It's more like Tibetan style of Thanksgiving Day.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. How about the second day?
On second day, it's called Namkang, which is where we clean the house. It's where we take all the bad deeds out from last year, so we can have New Year the next year as a fresh start. And then the third day is Sewachik, which is the first day of Losar, where we do go to Gomba and
Monastery.
monasteries.
Nice. Very good. Well, I've participated in a Losar celebration before in Boulder, but I never ate the fortune telling soup.
Did you get other food though, like disi, like rice with raisins?
Sweet rice.
Yeah, sweet rice. Yeah.
Did you get that?
Yeah, we had some.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah.
We only have that for breakfast.
In this class, we build on our conversational skills. We instead of talking more in English, you talk more in Tibetan. Just get that casual structure down.
Right, some more chatting.
Yeah.
Yeah, right on. I would try to do so.
Thank you so much, guys.
Yeah.
Thank you, Mayor. Thank you, Lord.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you. When they're age a little bit higher, or they kind of late enrollment, they struggle learning the basic, kindergarten. So then we have a special class, the teachers specifically dedicated to teach the students from basic to whichever grades they're going. So yeah. Digila, she's the one that we just met, the Boulder resident student. She's mom of Dega. Very good. She's been teaching for over how many years now?
Teaching for about 10 years, but
10
been
years.
with the school for about 10.
She was the former principal for 12 years, and she's a Boulder resident.
Okay, that's
Yeah,
great.
this is her classroom, so we have very limited space. So
This is actually a storage.
Storage room. So you still have room right here, but
I know.
But yes, I chatted with your daughter, and she's very articulate. She's helping out. She's doing a great job. She mentioned you all live on Eastern Rapid.
Yeah, by the Boulder Community Hospital. He actually lives there too, closer, right? He goes to Manhattan.
Okay. Manhattan Middle School.
Hello, can we come in for a minute? Thank you. So this is our senior students. They are in 7th grade, and Gila, the teacher is Getatinla. How many years Gila have been teaching? Two decades in Tibetan exile communities in Nepal, India, in America, in San Francisco before he moved here. So he's been teaching New York too. So when he moved here, we were so glad that he has that much experience, and he came to our community and volunteering his time for last 2 years. He's been teaching our students.
Okay, wonderful. And so this is a more complex things
Yeah.
that you're teaching.
Yeah, they are in 7th grade, most senior.
그래서 지득이야 도매 디라 요델라야 부시게 쏴 Tide Pade Tashi Degun, Dezuguns. Dezuguns, let them Bushi to the Maya, Bushi de Carcere, Taya, Digi, Usan Yos, Jusua, Judizaman Carcere, Digia, Tide de Carcere, Tide de Machini, Dechinia, Dea, Domet Jusha, Dome, Pumbuchin there. Digi, Manu Latsumaya, Kiron Lady, Kiron de Carre, Nepal Gisaja, Nepal Saja. Nepal Gisaja Tide, Delay Yabuchi. That is Trashi Degan and the Puri Laza Saja de Roa, Dimatuki Mount Everest Roa, Ditchid, Di Carcere, Trashi Degan Jusha. That take the Carcere.
Hello, may we come in for a minute? Thank you. So this is our third grade. We have age ranging from how old are you guys?
I'm the youngest. I'm 9.
11. 9 to, how old are you? 13. So age ranging from the 15 here. So yeah. So our teacher, Miss Mirella, has been teaching for last few months, right? So she's volunteering her time, like all of the teachers.
Can one of you tell me something you're working on?
Oh, we're doing a test. And then we're
Test?
grading it.
Okay, grading the test.
Yeah.
Okay. How you doing so far?
Could you read a few places that you're reading?
I was there a year.
You read a word and then translate that in English, please.
It first, and then getting up to the complex stories. It's fascinating to see the progression. And when you first said the grades, I thought it meant the exact ages of American learning. Okay.
Yeah. So thank you so much for your valuable time to come here and visiting our community center, interacting with our students, teachers. It means a lot to us. And please visit again if you get a chance. To our president. Yes, you want to have a few last words?
Nope. Like I said, action item for me is follow up with your team. So we'll get together, send an email, make sure that we can get it.
I did leave my hat here in the room, so it's behind the chair, if you know.
Đang ăn chỗ ra nhà mà là tắc bơ là đi mình là siêu ba sang là rồi, cha rồi tắc bơ cha rồi, ta nhà mà tắc bơ chỉ sắp lại rồi cũng chỉ vì sao Sunday là cái sắp lại đang thúc bơ đang cha đang rồi ngã tụi sao mà thuê chỉ lại, hôm nay ra này con cái gì, susu girl kia, jinda jinda ta, labra đang, gigin đang, sang mà lại thúc bơ rồi thúc bơ cái sắp lại rồi, yeah, thuê chỉ lo.
인데 좀 별랑서 링긴다.
맞아 주 샤발랑 톡바당 딱바 자니마 딱바조도 가진 소고요.
나디라 디 kunjusum matos contribute machina라. 배샤 망탄이 뱅을 쇼면디.
대야 버렸다.
내가 내 아이레스기 돌기 당아. 배샤 망타.
배샤 망전데 소고야.
자 배샤 망탄에 군주 가다가 같이 올다.
야야.
저뱅 동바에 왜?
나도 동바 매 강시.
안돼.
뭔다 다 신고면들 로 shumang에 하고.
이야. 나뱅 강시 다 그냥 하나. 다 가리나 다 사사 곧.
야야 투지로 다 간다면은 디 샤발레조 투지로. 아니 다른 가서 디 Boulder 그 매요래네 샤발레조다. 아니 다 다른 남시에 야고 차샤. 샤발라 가래요. 예. 나도 다 막 기긴도 저 이제 다시 라게. 투지로 다시 라.